and welcome back to Mucky Hope Productions. I'm standing in for Drew today, who has horrifically hurt his shoulder playing the sports ball. And so we send all our love and prayers and send whatever else your God will allow to him, hoping for a speedy recovery. And it just means you have to check back in next week just to see how awful his shoulder or arm or whatever looks. But I have, as always, resident expert number 2, Jake, here with me. How are you doing, Jake?
I'm doing well. It's unfortunate for Drew. For those of you out there, we saw the video of what happened. It's bad. It looked bad. I do not envy him right now.
No, and for those who don't know, Drew is a rugby coach, and so pretended he was 20 years old, and he is not. Chat, he is not 20 years old.
Chat, just newsflash, he's not.
Yeah, we wish him a speedy recovery, and you'll just have to tune in next week to see how he is. We've got Gabe here. It's Vee and Jake time this week. It is. We're running the show without Drew here. Who knows what we'll talk about? Maybe we won't even talk about Survivor. Maybe we'll talk about how awful it is. I don't know. But as I always say, my tagline for this entire season is it's the season we're pretending to care about until season 50 happens. So,
so that's kind of the sentiment I'm seeing, where it's just like, let's just get through this. Even though I'm enjoying it, I also enjoyed this episode. I don't know about you, but to me, I mean, something you'll probably learn about me is I kind of just enjoy anything Survivor. So low bar, but I think I thought it was pretty good.
I agree. I'm pretty easy to please, to be honest. And so, you know, I'm enjoying it. It's Survivor. I don't think it's anything groundbreaking that we've seen, but and speaking of loving Survivor, we have Mucky.
Woo! It's the greatest show in the world, guys. In case if you didn't know.
How many rosés deep are you now, Mucky?
I did actually go through an entire bottle of Silax berries and cream rosé. It was pretty bloody delicious, actually. And Jake, we haven't podcasted together in years, bro.
Oh yeah,
How exciting is this?
I couldn't even tell you what podcast we were on together last. It was so long ago.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I do just normally shit all over American Survivor, so I think it's probably a good thing.
Yeah. It's funny. I know that everybody is like fawning over Australia Survivor versus the World. I still have not seen a single episode.
You haven't even
seen
I know who wins. I know who wins.
You've got that to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, bro, like it is such a fever dream, like that whole season. Like honestly, like I even rewatch the opening 9 minutes over and over again, where they're like, "It's the Golden God, it's Parvati, it's Sari," and I'm like, "This is the coolest shit ever," you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, like it's such a, it's such a fun season to watch.
I need to watch it. I need to. I don't like to watch 2 different seasons of Survivor at the same time, because then I get too confused. I'm already not.
Especially when you got US on there as well.
Yeah, especially when it's like new people on this one, where it's like I'm already, like last week I was calling Savannah Samantha. I was saying names that aren't even on this season, so I can't be muddling 2 seasons together. But I need to watch this.
Getting into it, it was a good episode. I felt, despite obvious boot, it was a bit of an obvious boot episode. And that's okay.
They really tried to make it not obvious, but I don't know if anybody fell for it. I was
kind of hoping, anyway, we'll get to it, but I was kind of hoping there would be a twist. And when that conversation happened, I was like, twist? No. So we kick off the episode, and we are putting the tribes into our top 4 and bottom 2 or 1. We establish each tribe and their top 4. So we've got Kelly, which is pretty much everyone but Annie, even though Annie is the puppet master. We've got Uli, which is I mean, honestly, Jake, have you seen someone quite so, I don't want to say deluded because I think that's on, but
I mean,
you remember when this is
there's been some real delusional folks on Survivor, both in America and Australia. I'm talking about Russell Hance on Australian Survivor. That was pretty bad too. But this it's up there. It's up there for like, we're gonna look back on this season and be like, remember how Annie like just randomly thought she was like completely running the show when she was never in that position even for a second.
Yeah, it actually reminded me a lot. So generally one of the greatest seasons, what people like to call it the great season, is a season called Titans versus Rebels on Australian Survivor. And there was a moment where there's this player, she's lovely in real life, I'm so fortunate to have actually gone to meet her, but she's such a nut job on the show. Her name is Jess, and like she was pretty much like manipulated into believing she was pulling off like one of the biggest moves, like right off the get-go and stuff. She's the one leading the alliance, but it was actually the, like, they call themselves the Invisible Hand and Mark and Eden, and it was like they were like playing her to the point where she genuinely believed it. So she was going up to people being like, I masterminded the like the vote last night.
I remember this. It was bad. It was tough to watch. It was tough to watch.
Yeah, no, it was so funny. Yeah, and
Well,
it reminded me of this. Yeah,
I think that's it. I think calling yourself the puppet master and having such a massive downfall is it's pretty unfortunate. And
I also think that it was good gameplay by the other people by recognizing that she's got this like very high image of herself that she can like control them, and so they're like, let's just feed into it. Let's just like never like every single time reassure her that yes, you are controlling us. We are doing everything that you want. And so I think that it's a combination of her like just kind of having really bad awareness of what was actually happening, but also everyone else realizing that and then feeding into it.
That's right. And Mucky, if you were on the beaches of Survivor and everyone on your tribe is like, well, you're in charge, Mucky, we'll do whatever you say.
Well, in that case, they'd be telling the truth, though.
Yeah, I'm such an alpha player. You know, we've got the Riz God here, but what about the alpha signal male? You get what I mean? Running the beaches of each other. No, I mean, I feel like it's a pretty bad sign. Like, because the whole time I was watching this, because I haven't seen American Survivor in so long, so seeing the 6-tribe format is quite wow. Like, you know, once your name is out there, there's nothing you can do. Whereas in Australian Survivor, there's often like a few random advantages and other names you can throw out there to try to save yourself, but you really can't here in this spot. And so I feel like if everyone's telling you, oh, you're doing such a great job, you're the one in charge and stuff, if it's like, well, there's a 5-person tribe, I'm probably pretty cooked. You get what I mean? If it's like a larger tribe, then maybe it's just people trying to put a target on your back. But yeah, when it's like 4 people in a tribe of 5 all telling you the exact same thing, it's like, hang on a second. You know, I feel like I'd start being a little bit cautious about things. But even then, what can you really do? You know, you guys even talked about it with you know, Nicole last week. It's like, what could you have realistically done to try save herself? Yeah. It's rough.
It's one of my biggest criticisms of the new era is these 3 6-person tribes. There's just no room for error, and in a way that like makes, you know, in theory should make like sort of like the cream rise to the top of like, if you make one mistake, like you're gone. So all of the best players should theoretically keep going. But to me, it's just like, it really exposes just like the unluckiness that can happen of like, I feel like with Nicole, like we talked about it last week, these just aren't her people. She just wasn't able to connect. And that's, I mean, she could have done a better job. I'm not acting like she didn't do anything wrong, but like it comes to a point where it's like she was kind of just screwed a little bit.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I was trying to think. What could Annie do? And I think throwing Sophie's name out, especially towards the end, was pretty much all she could do.
Yeah.
Get away, pivot away from Jake. It's not happening. It's not happening. It was never happening. I mean, of course, I have to defend my fellow Jake out there, but I mean, do they not know that he's like the crux of that 4-person alliance, and he's clearly I think he's the best challenge performer of the entire cast. I just don't know.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that last minute pivot, I was just like, finally, like you're actually doing like the correct play, but it's probably not going to work at this point.
Well, I'm really curious because obviously I've fallen behind quite a lot on New Year's Survivor. Like, with it being such a short format, you get what I mean? Like, we even saw this with Australia vs. World where the players don't even really care too much about the challenges. Does keeping tribe strength really matter in the new era? Like, if you see like a guy like Jake's like, oh, we can get rid of him. We've got like Alex to help us out, for example. Like, has that sort of been a mentality for New Era in the last few seasons?
I think that we've definitely seen some people like just completely forego challenge strength and just be like, let's just vote out who we believe is the biggest threat. And it's I've seen it come with mixed results. Sometimes it works out fine. They end up either still winning or, we've seen tribes whittle down to 2 people on these 6-person tribes. So it's like, maybe you could have kept a few allies for the merge if you would have just voted out the weak people. But I mean, it's all hindsight, but we've also seen them care about challenge strength. And it's like, if you fuck up in the first episode, we've seen people go home for that reason.
Yeah. Well, I wonder how much is the intentional matsing? Is that still really a strategy with these new era? Because obviously we saw Ricard and Shan and 41.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think we saw it kind of in 41 where those two were just like, we are just like tight. We are so tight. We don't care about anyone else. So we know for a fact they were like, we know for a fact that it's going to come down to us too. It's not going to come down to one. So we can just keep losing. We don't care, and I mean, neither of them won. So you can say for yourself if that worked or not.
Well, there you go. Exactly. Like it's, but in hindsight, safety in numbers, keeping the 2 together, it's
you
easy.
You never know.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get to the merge and that is the perfect scenario where it's like, you're only one of 2 people and the other 2 tribes that have like 5 or 6 are like totally fighting over who they want, or they're just like, let's just get rid of them. You never know. It's another aspect of luck in this game where it's just like, you have no idea how people are going to act once you get to the merge.
Yeah. Well, it seems like Uli feels pretty secure in what they're doing in their 4, the Nate, Savannah, Shannon, and Rizzo of it all, their core 4. Is it Yawan or Jawan? I've heard both pronunciations, but I think Jeff said Yawan.
Did he really?
I think he said Yawan.
I think so.
Yeah. But I was just like, I don't know. So really on that tribe, we've got Yawan and Sage, who are sort of sitting at the bottom of that tier. But we saw Yawan pushing back against that. I'll bring up the journey now because he went on that journey. And I thought it was interesting. He took the advantage for the tribe, which I think was smart, because I think then you get 2 advantages because it's unlikely you'd go to tribal council anyway. But I don't know if you picked up on this. He lied about what the help yourself was. Did anyone else pick up on that?
No.
What did he say it was?
He told the tribe that it was taking a vote from the other tribes, not from his own tribe, which I believe that the help yourself advantage was taking a vote from within your tribe and having an additional vote. He said it was taking the vote from, who else went with him? Matt and Jake.
I thought it was. I thought that was the truth.
Well, I might be wrong, but I thought that he kind of twisted that around. Remind me in chat if I'm wrong.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you, Jake. I think it was that he had to
Yeah,
steal
because
the vote from either Matt or Jake.
I'm just
and they
going
couldn't
off
vote.
of. I think I remember him like reading that on the parchment,
Yeah.
but then also I remember when Matt got back to camp and he was telling him like, "Yeah, I lost, but good thing I won't be losing my vote." And I remember thinking like, "You don't know that." Like Alex could, or Jawan, excuse me, could still choose that and choose to steal your vote, so you're not out of the woods yet. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you though, by the way, that it was the right choice to do the tribe because
Yes.
I mean, it's always so tough with the journeys. You got to come up with some story. And you know for a fact that Jake is probably going to make it to the merge. And so he is going to be able to say, no, this is what happened. He won. And if he told you that he didn't, then he's lying. You know, it's always tough. So when you come back, I think with an advantage that helps the entire tribe and you can like be honest about it, I think that's the right call.
Is he maybe like
stuff I thought he lied about that, but I am clearly wrong. He is altruistic and wonderful and not a liar at all. So go Jawan.
Yeah, he's all about honor and integrity and loyalty, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He's the casual favorite because he's all about loyalty and yeah.
I actually quite like Jawan. This episode sold me on him. I quite like him. I think he's fun.
Someone who
I thought when I heard that he took Savannah's bag, I thought he did it on purpose. But
no, I don't think he did. Yeah,
he said to the confessional that it was an accident. So I don't know why he would lie to us, but that would have been really funny if it was on purpose. And then like he did find the idol or something, and he accidentally. I don't know. Like I don't know what he was planning there. If it was on purpose, that would have been bizarre.
Or maybe no, hear me out. Right, he realized he's stuffed up. So he's trying to gaslight himself and the audience by being like, no, it was an accident. I swear it was an accident.
He really did. And then now he's
bring me back for 50.
yeah, exactly. Bring me back for 50. Yeah. But someone who I really love though is Nate. You know how he's all like, gosh, like I'm way older than all these people. Like everything is vibe and fire. And it's just all like this Gen Z slang, like, oh my gosh, it's so fire. Your vibes are just immaculate.
I was waiting for somebody to call him Unk.
Yeah, me too.
Well, Jeff got called Uncle.
Yes, Jawan. Jawan kept calling him Uncle. No, I like Nate a lot too. You can tell like this is another time where it's like just boy, he is not with his people. I mean, he's with people. All of these other people are around the same exact age group, and he is this a fish out of water. And he's he's doing quite well for himself, given that fact. But no, everybody's saying. I think they were even talking about Riz. I mean, come on, when there's a guy named Riz God on your tribe, you have to talk about Riz, of course.
Yeah,
I think that was a smart play by Nate to sort of find the Zedder of the most Zeds, the Generation Zs there, and sort of make friends with them. I think the Nate approaching Rizzo, connecting those two, that was a smart move for Nate. I thought that was terrific. I do have a question though. You know, Yawan is putting himself at the bottom of his tribe with all his actions. Just bringing it back to the Yawan of it all. Is this a bit of a paranoid tribe, or is his actions really standing out that much?
I mean, I think there was like multiple people talking about it. So I tend to think that he's just being way too obvious. And like, if you're bringing your bag out there, I don't know. I think that's also really obvious too. Of like, you don't, because one of the tougher things about finding an idol is like, once you find it, you have to like hide it in your pocket. And sometimes that can create like, you know, a huge bump where it's like obvious that you have it in your pocket. So if you can just pop it in his bag, it's like, boom, it's in there. Like, that's it. That's what I would be thinking if I were out there, which it seems like they were thinking that as well. So I personally am thinking that he is just being too obvious about it.
I think as well, there's just like a group mentality of it, you know, it's like kind of if us three were together, we're like, oh, we want to blindside Drew. We don't really trust him. It's like anything he does, like, oh my God, can you believe that Drew did this?
Already,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Once you're
Yeah, it's like-
already against somebody, you're just looking for little things that they're doing wrong just to justify them going
Exactly,
home.
yeah. It's like you're trying to make like a fake plan with Drew, and Drew's like, all right, I reckon we vote for Jake. It's like, oh my god, Jake, he's so untrustworthy. He just threw your name out there. Like, yeah, it's for any reason possible, you know?
Yeah.
And so I do think it's like a little bit of both, because obviously, like, there's not a lot of time with 26 days and stuff. They're winning immunities as well. So there's a lot of downtime too. That, like, you know, he could be going off, like, just go to the bathroom, and they're like, oh my gosh, he's searching for an idol again. Can you believe it? Jeez
Yeah.
Louise.
It's actually IBS.
Yes.
Yeah, what's her name? Sage. She's like, anytime I get too excited or too nervous, I immediately just have to piss. And I'm like, that's not very ideal for Survivor.
I felt that right to my core. I'm very similar. I was like, I'm not a freak. That's I was really relieved to hear that. Before we move on from the year one of it all, the tribe disadvantage was a better call. Just extra vote wouldn't matter if he has no allies to help in a vote. Better chance at winning immunity challenge to survive. I think we all agree that he chose the best path forward, I think.
I kind of feel like we've seen a lot of different plays that extra votes can be used in. And I think, I mean, I'm not sure about what you guys think, but I feel like there's kind of a useless advantage. Like, it only really helps if it's like a 4-4, or maybe it's like a 5-4, and then like the extra votes used to like tie it up to rocks. Yeah, it's only very helpful in like very circumstantial like events and stuff. But I feel like others overall it's just like a
Who knows? Maybe Yuan will find himself in the exact scenario that you're describing, and will be like, "He should have done it. He should have done it. What was he thinking? What was he thinking?" No, but I completely agree.
I think what the editors were really pushing us towards is that we've got a strong group of 4 in each tribe, but we got Tahina, and we had the Matt, Christina, and Stephen. And as an afterthought, Matt brought MC in. As Gabe says, Yellow Matt messed up telling MC to be our 4 in our already established alliance. And MC wasn't having it. Was she, Jake?
She was not. She
was pretty mad.
I mean, Gabe is exactly right. I mean, he fucked up by saying, oh yeah, we already had a thing. And we're just like, why don't we grab a 4th? Why don't we grab a 4th? And we just decided to choose you. It's like, I'm on the bottom of this 4 already. You know, I mean, you just admitted it. Like, and you can tell that Matt did not know what he had just done, because he's sitting there saying like, oh yeah, I love MC. I want her to join. Like, I'm so glad she's in our group now. And immediately she goes and tattles on them to Sophie and tells them all the terrible, no good words they've been saying about her. And yeah, very interesting dynamics, because now this could just completely backfire on MC as well. I mean, they're a 3. That's not enough for a majority, but that's still enough to tie. If now Sophie wants to tattle on MC, now she can maybe weasel way in. I don't know. I go back and forth on what I think about her telling Sophie. We'll see, but I'm mixed right now.
How often are swaps in the new era? I know that they've done them a couple of times, but like, are swaps pretty?
It's rare. It's been like 2. I think it's been done twice since 41.
Okay.
I think it was 40. I want to say it was 47, and I know 48 didn't have it. I think 47 and like 45 had it or something. It's not common.
Because what I was thinking is that sometimes it is easy to be like, yeah, I might be number 4 in this alliance, but just wait till a swap happens. I mean, or like merges just around the corner. I'll just stay with this 4. Then at least we've got some kind of group moving forward, whereas trying to create a divide of like 3 and 3, but
just sort of play along.
Yeah, but if it's not guaranteed a swap, I feel like you got to swing for like the better like position and stuff, and it could be a 3-on-3. But if your 3 somehow wins out, or you convince them to split the votes, and it's like a 3-2-1 all over again, then like you're at least guaranteed half of the tribe, or at least another 2 votes before merge, instead of just like 1. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it might be better just to toe the line, which is interesting because we saw Yellow Sophie was pissed about it. She was furious at that. But Jake, we didn't hear anything from Jason. He got the purple edit this episode. We didn't see. I can't remember him at all.
Yeah, no, he didn't say anything at all, which I don't know what to make of it. I mean, because he's the other one being left out of this, 4-person other than Sophie. So it'd be kind of nice to hear what he's thinking. Who does he feel like he's close to, and everything. But all we know is that Gabe says it right here. He's the puzzle guy. He's done the puzzle.
That's right.
Every time, and he just kills it.
Did he do the puzzle this time?
He did. Yeah.
He did. That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
He was pretty good in the challenge. I was watching him. He was holding his own.
Smash Bros. Player.
Of course, taking us to a Hina win for the immunity challenge, but we'll get to that. Just before we move on from this first start of the episode, I do, for all the music nerds out there who might be as music nerdery as me, you will notice we have added strings to the opening credit theme this season. It was a little bit, they've freshened up the arrangement a bit. I mean, I stand by the Survivor theme being an incredible piece of music, a piece of music that has endured for 25 years as one of the most iconic, recognizable Survivor franchise, television franchise themes of all time. And it was a beautiful, sensitive string arrangement adding to that, and it just a masterpiece. So I'll just put that out there for my fellow music nerds.
I love that.
I liked it.
I have always loved the intro, and when they got rid of it, I was so pissed.
Yeah.
And I know I have always, it's so cliche, but of course you when you're somebody who wants to be on Survivor, you imagine yourself in the intro, your name popping up on the screen and you doing some cool, or sometimes they like to embarrass people and put like a super unflattering image of them or shot or whatever. But when I heard that I think it was 41 until 44 and then 45, they brought it back. For 41 through 44, I feel so bad for them that they didn't get it. That
absolutely.
That's
actually, speaking of funny intro things, when you watch Australia vs. World, Jake, and like one of the intro things for George, it's literally the Australian flag hitting him in the face. Which was pretty great.
They couldn't give him a cool moment. They just couldn't give him a cool moment.
No. I mean, it's content gold. You get what I mean? It's so great. But something I've always praised Survivor for. Obviously, I haven't watched a lot of the recent New Era stuff, so I can't talk much about that. But it's Australian Survivor, it feels so epic. You get what I mean? And even some of the older American seasons as well, the tribal music, it's like you're in it. You feel it. You go, I mean, it feels like a movie and stuff. And some of the intro sounds, even when they're introducing some of the players and stuff as well, like you feel the hype. It feels epic. And I feel like the score for Survivor has always just been amazing.
Yeah, I meant to look up who was responsible, especially for the incidental music as well throughout the episode. I meant to look it up. I will for next week, because I think we can now say 25 years later that it's one of the best of all time in terms of incidental music and theme music. And I know for Drew, a coach win is his deal breaker for not watching Survivor again. Not having the opening intro was nearly a deal breaker for me, because I love the music. I love the epicness. I feel like it sets you up for a fantasy watching this show. But also, it is really helpful to see the faces and the names at the top of the episode, especially in the first couple of episodes of the season. To be able to
totally. I completely agree. When every time I would watch a new season, I'd be like, here we go. I need to bash this into my brain so I can remember everybody's name. And that was so helpful. And especially for, me watching with like my friends or my fiance who are not as nearly big of fans as me and just watch a little bit more like maybe background noise or casually. They are not paying super close attention to the names either. When you're bombarded with like 18 to 20 new people, you're just like, I can't remember all this. But I feel like the intro always helped them remember.
Yes. Yeah. So. See, this is why I like Australian Survivor, because they give 100 confessionals to one player. It's like, all right, I know who that listeners.
Yeah.
And then next episode is something completely different.
Well,
So if you
moving
missed
on,
it, that's fine.
Mucky, you're a pretty crazy guy, don't you? Wouldn't you say,
I'm
Mucky?
nuts.
You're
Nuts and
nuts.
bolts,
How
yeah.
did you feel about the shoe bandit shtick that
I love
Jake
the
and
shoe.
Kelly?
Oh, I love the shoe bandit so much, and especially coming off of Australia vs. the World, where one shoe can just change the entire course of a tribal council. Like I was like, oh my gosh, it's the year of the shoes. The shoes big move. I was
Shoes.
just shoes big move. Yeah, I love the shoes. And I feel like this is going to haunt people for the rest of their life. They're going to wake up one morning. All right, I'm going to say heading to work. Wait, I can't find a shoe. And they just know
Jake.
something terrible is going to happen that day. Like maybe there'll be like a car crash or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well-
it'll be like a bad omen for something.
Have you noticed each episode, whoever shoe gets stolen by the shoe bandit, they go home.
Exactly.
He's
going to
death
mention that,
incarnate.
Jake. That's
He's literally
interesting.
death incarnate. He's taking them to the afterlife.
Yeah, exactly. I
See-
almost wonder if he's going to make like a necklace of shoes. You get what I mean? It's almost like when you kill a warrior and stick their head on a pike or something like, yeah, look at my trophy. This is just gonna be like a line of shoes coming around his neck,
But he
Like
doesn't
a
ride them
lamp.
very hard. He doesn't because he
No,
could
he
just burn
doesn't.
them in the fire. But he sort of does
He
it
wants
so
them-
that you can. He wants them to know that it's been put
Yep.
somewhere,
Mhm.
rather
Yeah.
than I
Death
don't
is
know where it
looming.
is.
Yeah.
But yes,
Death is
Mucky, I
looming.
believe it would be a baller move for him to just wear the shoe at the tribal council. They're going to vote that person off around his neck and be like,
That's a
Yeah.
power move right there.
Exactly.
This is
So it can
who-
almost
this
be
is-
like because I know that some players have done this in the past where they've exchanged engagement rings and stuff like that as well, or
Mhm.
wedding rings. Like, I will give this back to you if you keep me around. Like Jake should be like, okay,
"Oh."
the only way I'm really gonna trust you is if you give me your shoe. And don't ask why. I just need your shoe, and then he still votes him out anyways.
He's
Yeah.
just a shoe freak. He just wants to keep them all.
He's
Exactly.
like that octopus that could determine who was going to win the Super Bowl each year. Like he just knows.
Yeah.
So we talked about the Yawan of it all. A journey happens. I thought it was pretty unfair that it was a strength challenge for the journey. It seemed to be pure strength. Jake, did that seem fair to you, or do you think it should be a little bit more varied?
I think that you can have these strength ones every once in a while. I mean, I'm getting tired of puzzles only. I thought this was kind of a nice change of pace, honestly. I don't know. I could be wrong, but this feels like the first journey ever that they've done something that wasn't a puzzle or like a coin flip or something stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Gabe
So-
agrees. We've had puzzles usually at these. So was it then a refreshing change that we went strength over puzzles?
That's how I feel personally. But
I was happy with
Yeah.
something new and no well, we nearly did have lost votes, didn't we?
could
Yeah.
have been lost votes, but I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, thank God. That's another one of my biggest critiques of the new era. It's just like, we don't need everybody losing their vote, especially this early when there's only 6 people on your tribe. Like, stop making it so hard for people to just play the game. Like, I hate it. Beware advantage too. I mean, just
Well, I think, Mucky, that's been your criticism for the new era. And
I've had a lot, and that's
I mean, one of them.
yeah, for sure. Like, I always think back to the Jenny Tribal Council in season 42, right? I know something very similar happened, I believe, in season 48 as well, but I don't know the context behind that. But I remember Jenny did nothing wrong. One of her closest allies found a beware advantage for an idol, lost his vote. Someone else had risked their vote, lost their vote. And so a minority of 2 people who clearly didn't socially or strategically win over anything, or went out of their way to find advantages to turn the tide of the vote, was able to get their way because other people were playing the game, if that makes sense. And so it's kind of like, I always like seeing players play the game, but if the game format requires you to just sit on your ass and not do anything, this is not an exciting game. You know, I want to see players who are willing to go. Like, look at someone like George, for example. I know I'm always going back to Australian Survivor, right? But how can George operate if like people in his tribe keep on losing votes? He's such a calculated, strategic mastermind, but that only works if everyone can vote. You get what I mean? And so the fact that no one lost their votes, like I was super happy about it, right? Because I want to see people play the game, and you can't play the game if you can't vote at tribal council. Because Survivor, end of the day, is all about voting people out. But if you actually can't vote someone out, then so kind of what's the point? You get what I mean?
Well, I think Gabe agrees, and I think that's potentially why, not that the four of us have decided the fate of American Survivor, but perhaps that is the criticism that has rung loudest with the producers, that the automatically lost votes journeys let the players have agency and choose. And I think having someone lose their vote as a reward for someone else, I think to me, that feels a bit better than just you've lost your vote, off you go.
Yeah.
Like you said, Mucky, it's hard to actually play this game if the votes don't stack up, if they don't matter. And
like the stealer vote advantage, I've always liked that advantage, right? Because it's like you're like looking at someone dead in the eye, I'm taking your vote. So that's like an act of war against that person, right? You're actually disarming that person. But yeah, it's like if you rock up, it's like, oh, I want to take a big risk. I want to actually play the game. Oh wait, I can't. Like, what is it? I heard isn't it Matt from 44? Jake, you might be able to fill me in on this, but he was the guy in the relationship thing throughout the season. Like, didn't he like lose all of his votes pre-merge or something like that? So he couldn't vote at all.
Or it was, I think, at that tribal that he went home, somebody who wasn't in the tribal like had an advantage that was just able to like block his vote or something. I can't remember exactly, but I know what you're talking about. I hate this kind of thing where it's just like, it's not interesting television to me when people lose their vote. It's just not. I don't think it's a interesting aspect of the game. I don't find any interest in it. I want people to vote.
Exactly. The tribal vote is the Survivor thing, and clearly they've heard our cries in the darkness of no automatic vote loss.
I reckon Jeff watched the video where I said he needs to be sacked for Survivor to be good again. It's like, you know what? Listen to this one guy. Yeah.
I'm not listening to anyone else. I'm listening to this one guy. That's
exactly. I don't want one guy from New Zealand to think I need to be sacked, you know.
I want to chat about the Beware advantage. Alex and Jake find a Beware advantage. We do have a lost vote with that, with the whole Beware advantage of it all. But again, it's not an automatic loss. It is, you decide to open. But as if, I don't think we've seen in these whole 9 seasons anyone not open a Beware advantage. Am I wrong, Jake?
I think in 47, Andy didn't open it, and then someone else swooped in and grabbed it, and it was like really bad. Like he thought, he's like, oh, I'll just put it back and I'll just come and grab it later. And then I can't remember his name. I think it was Sam. You guys probably may not remember who these people are, but then he swooped in and grabbed it. So I think that's like the one time. So it's sort of like advice of like, probably shouldn't do it. Probably should just grab it, because if you don't take it, then somebody else will. And then that guy ended up getting the idol out of it. So,
well, exactly. Curious, can you hide the Beware advantage? Like, not look at it, but can you like just like throw it into the ocean or something?
Destroy it, basically.
So, but he wanted to put it somewhere where he knew where it was, so he could come back to it later. So he didn't put it back in its original spot. He grabbed it and then put it in a new spot where he knew he would remember where it was. And then somebody else just happened to come upon it and took it. And then he came back. There's a scene where he's like, where'd it go? What happened?
Remember that.
Am I in the wrong spot? And then he like started looking in like all of these other spots because he had convinced himself that he had forgot where he put it. And then it was
that's so good.
Well, I mean, also, as it turns out, with this immunity that Alex and Jake search for it because they're together when they find it. They bring Sophie in, then they bring Jeremiah in. So as it stands, every single tribe member knows that Alex has an idol. Would you have bought Sophie and Jake?
If I were Alex, no, I wouldn't. But if I were Jake, I would, because I know that I need to keep both of these people happy, in some sort of way. And keeping something from Sophie, I know that that's gonna that might ruin that relationship. So yeah, if I were Alex, I would definitely try to keep that between me and Jake.
Well, I think that was sort of the catalyst. I do want to shout out though, Sophie attempting to deceive the boys. Loved that.
That was great.
Yeah.
I loved that. Yeah.
I was convinced that she was going to be able to take it from him.
I had high hopes. I thought, oh, we're getting there. And
because that would have been really bad if she was like trying to do it herself and they caught her. Like that would have been so bad for her. So,
well, because what I'm curious, right? If she was able to get the idol, right? Because then obviously that means Alex can vote. So imagine if it goes up to vote and it's like, oh, you can still vote. Like, how
I wonder
great
how
would
that
that
works.
be?
Would he be able to vote even if somebody else found it?
Oh
no. Well, surely not.
I think he has to find it.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh! So what you're saying, right, is that not only can you not like hide the beware advantage anywhere you want, but if you steal the advantage before they can, then they just can't vote.
You can hide it wherever you want. So you can hide it. And then, yeah, the twist is if you decide to tell your entire tribe about it and someone else hides or finds the immunity idol before you, yeah, I guess you don't have a vote until you find it. Or maybe until it's used.
Tell anybody. Just don't tell anybody.
No,
we see that Alex, yes,
like just keep stealing all the advantages, just like try help them find it, but then you take it before they do.
Of course.
Like, you can't vote.
There
Sucks
you go.
for you, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. We see Alex has to bring Jeremiah in, and I put the "has to" in quotation marks because I thought that was ridiculous. What did you think, Mucky? Bringing absolutely all and sunder into the situation.
I mean, like sometimes it's good to like have everyone on the same page to like kind of like rally everyone, if that kind of makes sense. Like I know that if I was to ever play, like let's say the three of us are playing, right? It's like, you know what, let's just go in as united as we can be, because if we all split off in different directions and stuff, who knows what the game's gonna look like, you go, what I mean? But if we go in as like a solid three, look, I have an idol, this is for all of us. If one idol play goes right, maybe all three of us then advance to the next stage. Like very similar with like the David and Goliath, if the Davids are like, well, I have all my advantages, I'm not going to share anything, then they probably don't even like overcome the Goliaths, right? But because they share the advantages, they're then able to work together to overcome the majority. And right now the blue tribe is, getting absolutely decimated. So while it might be like overall a bad look, it can also be seen as a tool to really like to bond the alliance together to move forward, if that kind of makes sense.
I think it depends on the stage of the game. I think that we've seen exactly what you just described, like later in the merge, where it's like we're on the bottom against this bigger alliance. Like we all need to be on the exact same page, or else this plan with the idol is not going to work. So you got to let everybody in on it. I mean, I think we've seen it happen many times where the opposite happens, where somebody in a minority alliance doesn't tell anybody, and then they go to play their idol, and like everybody's voting in different directions, and like then just like nothing happens, and then afterwards they're like, why didn't you tell us? We could have come up with a plan. But when it's this early in the game, no, I just keep it to yourself. This only puts a target on your back, and now everybody knows about it. And when you get to the merge, if somebody's pissed off at you, I mean, like we already see Jeremiah isn't really feeling this alliance too much. He's like, I'm always the last one to learn about everything. It's basically them three and then me added on top. I think that there's a chance that that could backfire of him knowing about it when they get to the merge potentially.
Well, see, I think that this idol find has been the catalyst for 3 events now. Number one, they have everyone on the tribe now knows if they go to tribal next week, everyone knows that Alex has an idol.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely everyone. There is no one left out. Number 2, as you mentioned, Jeremiah now knows he's 4th. If he didn't already, he knows it for sure now. And he is very, very aware of it. And there will be ramifications for that. And Gabe puts it here, Alex knows him and Sophie Cold War is building up to something. So the Sophie of it all, now they've realized that there is that 3-way between Jake, Sophie, and Alex. And it seems like only Alex and Sophie are aware of it and willing to fight over Jake. Do you think that's going to be what plays out in the next coming few weeks, Jake?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think that it's all hinging, given that they go to tribal council again, which probably is going to happen. It's just a train wreck. And by the way, both Sophie and Jeremiah are just losing their train of thought. It's only like day 4 or something, 5, something like that. Yeesh. I mean, they're not even like
they're hungry.
Quarter of the way through. They're like a fifth of the way through. So yeah, no, I think that it's all kind of hinging on Jake right now. Of like who they're both battling over who is like Jake's go-to person. Sophie's not a fan of Alex being as close to Jake as he already is. She wants him all for herself, which is exactly what Gabe is saying in the chat. We're 2 peas in a pod.
That's why I think Alex should have. Is this one, or which one are you thinking?
I was saying, this one where he said get rid of Sophie that wants his ally Jake for herself. Yeah, I think if you're Sophie or Alex, you want the other one out.
Well, I mean, we'll get to it as well. I do want to unpack that a little bit more of the options that Alex did have in that situation. I skipped over the immunity challenge, which I usually glaze over when there's any sort of sporting event happening, and then the immunity challenges are no different. And reward the disadvantage to Hina, Mucky. That was huge.
I know. I was like, wait, what? Like at first it was like, the 20 pounds of coconuts. It's like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense. But then and you get like the 10 extra keys. It's like, oh my gosh, like, what's next? There's going to be like a giant boulder chasing them throughout the challenge as well. It's
Jeff's
like, if
just
you
going to come in and just start pushing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Stop hitting yourself. Hitting yourself.
He's gonna get Jonathan to come in, and it's like, all right, you now have to do a wrestling challenge against this guy too.
You have to beat
him. Gladiator.
If he beats you before you guys, then you all get voted out. You're gone.
Yeah. Or maybe to tease Squid Game America, it's during this challenge you're also playing red light, green light. Just something impossible like that. But it was quite the disadvantage. But they still pulled out the win. So it's like, hey.
Well, as we see, Blue screwed up that big lead, and I was sort of at the start going, well, Hina's 2nd or 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
They won. They pushed through. They are a very. Jake even said it's a blowout, which to me, blowout means something different. Now it's battle to who gets the better reward. But that really, Jake, do you just think Kelly is weak? Like, do they just suck?
I don't know because to me, on paper or just like at face value, what is it? Hina, the yellow tribe, they don't look that strong.
No.
I don't think they look weak or anything, but
no,
I would not have.
You don't have beefcake in it.
Them being, exactly. Like I would not have foreseen them being this dominant. Like the fact that they came in 1st place in this challenge after getting that crazy of a disadvantage is nuts to me. Because I felt like, okay, they're giving us. It felt sort of like a setup to like maybe they could go to tribal the pre-tribal or the pre-challenge content of their tribe. They're getting more into the dynamics, who they're thinking should be the vote and how they feel about it, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, that's set up for like they could potentially go to tribal. So when they announced the disadvantage, I'm like, they're toast. They're going to tribal for sure. No, first place. They got the best reward. I mean, I don't know if they're going to lose at all. If they can't even lose from this, I don't know if they're losing at all.
Well, they've only ever lost in the last 2 episodes. They've only ever lost on the journeys. Never. They won the first reward challenge and both immunity challenges. So far they're 3 for 3.
Yeah.
So
Blue hasn't
we
won
shall
anything.
see. Now I want to move on to the tribal council. Alex had a choice. He had a discussion with Annie. And again, was this just part of edit to sort of give us a little bit of a twist? I'm not sure. Was he ever serious about it? The Sophie idea. Now, I'll ask you both. Yes, he could have, and I think, bring this back up. Alex could have used the idol on Annie, which I would have loved just for the drama of it. I think that would have been a fabulous tribal council. If he eliminates Sophie to strengthen his connection with Jake, does that work? Does Jake trust him, or does that backfire?
I think in a tribe this small, it would backfire easily. You get what I mean? Because it's like you make a huge move, and then what you've done to 4 people, and you're like up to here, like you've just made the big move, and everyone else is still kind of playing down here, playing it safe. You're the easy. Sorry to smack the mic. That's how frustrated I am. No, but it's like you're the next to go. Do you get what I mean? Because everyone else is still trying to play the long game, trying to play the safe game, but you're trying to play the flashy, like the flashy game, which unfortunately just does not work in small tribe format, as we kind of discussed earlier. You kind of need the larger tribes to give you more different options. Like we even saw earlier this year with Miles. You get what I mean? How often he would find idols, play them for other people, make a huge, big, flashy move, but he always found a way to recover because there were always other options people would want to get rid of. But it was down to like 6 people, 4 people. Like Miles is the next to go. You get what I mean? And so, yeah, I think in the larger tribe, like a move like that would work. But in a small tribe like this, like, because you made a huge play, you made exciting TV for one episode, but Anne believes she's the strategic mastermind of the tribe. Why would you want to bring other huge threats with her? So that's just my take on it.
Jake, Gabe makes a good point, but where is Jake going? Do you think being that sort of loss of trust that Jake would feel after Alex essentially betrays him and gets out of Sophie, do you think it would be as easy as Jake just turning to, who would he have left? He would have
Jeremiah,
Annie,
right?
Jeremiah, yeah.
So that was my thought, is like maybe it would work, like, because I don't know what Jake and Jeremiah, what their personal relationship is, where because then it would be 2-2, because obviously Annie is going to be on Alex's side after he just saved her, and then Jake is going to be like, what the fuck, you just lied straight to my face, and you just took out my other closest ally besides yourself. I don't know, if I were in Jake's shoes, I might just kind of have to go with him. I mean, depending on how I feel with Jeremiah, like, am I going to really like go into a deadlock tie at the next tribal council, potentially going to a fire challenge or whatever, with Jeremiah? Do I care that much about Jeremiah over, like, can I get over what Alex just did to me? But I completely agree, by the way, with Mucky, that like this decision is way easier in a bigger tribe where like you're pissing off way less people potentially. You just have way more options of like how different people feel about what you just did. That your chances are way higher that some people are just like, yeah, I'm over it. I don't mind. You want to play, I'll play with you. But in this, it feels way more like direct attack. if I were Jake, I don't know what I would do. It would depend all on Jeremiah, I think.
Yeah. Well, we do get to the tribal council. The vote is easy. It's Annie. Alex clearly decides that it's not worth putting the target on his back, not being flashy, or as Gabe puts, it wasn't to give us an alternate option for the show. That's it.
Yeah.
And you got to understand that as well, that when it's a really easy vote, you're going to want, the editors are going to want to sort of make people go, oh, but. So it ends up being Annie.
I did find that pretty funny where it's like the whole episode is like, right, it's Annie, and then in the last 2 seconds, I'm gonna play an idol for Annie. It's like, no, you're not.
No, yeah, he had just spent the entire episode. Alex had just spent the entire episode being like, she is so delusional. She has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna tell me that, just 30 minutes later that he's like about to play an idol for her. Yeah. No.
Yeah. So anything to say about tribal council, Jake? I felt like it was pretty much straight, as we saw at the start. Gabe mentioned it, an obvious boot. Did anything surprise you about tribal?
Well, I think I already mentioned this before, of just like Sophie, just brain fog. Like, it's pretty intense. I don't know. I mean, I think we've seen brain fog before on Survivor, of course. I mean, what up? As Jeff keeps pointing out to her, like, you're in the heat all day. The sun is just draining you. And, you have no food. But I feel like usually people are like way more together at this point in the game. I don't know if I've ever seen like just like people are forgetting the questions that Jeff is asking them. Like, yikes.
Yeah.
How about you, Mucky? Do you think Kelly's just falling to bits?
Yeah, I do think it's falling to bits, and I do think that because I've seen like a debate online on, does Flint even like really matter, especially in like New Era Survivor, where like the pre-merge is like just so short, you get what I mean? But I think for lack of days, I think production is up the ante of like starving the contestants. So it's like, the Flint really does matter, but you gotta be thinking, right? Like, Jake, how long have they been filming in Fiji for? Since like season 33, right?
33, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, and what they normally do like 2 seasons a year normally, at like pretty much the exact same spots. So they're starting to run out of coconuts, surely by now. And and like
I've heard
even the fish in the sea, the fish are getting smaller. You're gonna have to go out,
overfishing.
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard from I'm reading some stuff from players that they think that production is actually going in and adding coconuts themselves, like just throwing them on the ground just to give them a little bit of a better shot, because the coconuts are like running dry from all of the people that they've sent out there to starve in the jungle. I mean,
bamboo doesn't grow in Fiji.
Yeah.
Oh, it does. Oh, there you go. So,
yeah.
Because I mean, something that like, I think obviously it's a lot cheaper for production to stay in the one spot. You go, I mean, obviously, like American Survivor's gone to like way many, like all over the world pretty much, right? But I think there would be an advantage as well if you're just that way about costs. Survivor the Grand Canyon. You get what I mean? Like Survivor, like, like South America,
my backyard,
like,
right there.
Amazon. Yeah, exactly. Even maybe like they have a lot of Canadians on the show. Do a Survivor in the snow. How great would that be?
Yeah.
Like there's so many different like ideas that you could still potentially do. There's just not the same thing over and over again. But obviously I understand why, because obviously it's way cheaper to keep it in Fiji. Similar with Australia, how they always are keeping it in Samoa now. But I think, like when you're actively hunting food for the contestants at other parts of Fiji, I think that's where you need to be like, all right, we've got to find a new spot or a new beach. Move to Thailand,
Yeah, I do miss the changing of the locations, and I think, similar to other sort of survival shows, how they have different areas like Alone and shows like that. And I love that about the old era. But I think the difference is that Survivor's moved away from seeing if people can survive. I think that was definitely such a focus in the first sort of maybe 5-10 years where it's like, wow, let's look at them. How are they coping? Oh my God. And now I think they're just focused on the strategy of it all. But I think they're missing a trick. I think a Survivor series in the snow would revitalize this whole sort of, I feel like a little bit of a slump. I don't know, like just of the sameness of it all.
Yeah, the criticism I've heard about the snow is that it would get boring because everybody would just be huddled around the fire the entire time because they're so cold.
Yeah.
Which I understand, but I mean, just something different visually. Like I'm tired of like, I even liked, I think it was Australian Survivor Brains versus Brawn, Georgia's first season where they were like in that
outback.
Yeah. It was. I thought that was. I mean, it's a little, just like brown, but it's something new. I mean, if they were to do that,
that's Vee's home country, Jake. You better watch your words.
I know desert. I live in Arizona, so I mean, I get it. But so, like, if they were to do that every season, I'd be against it. But if they're going to do that every once in a while, then I'm all for it.
Change it up.
Yeah,
maybe a bit more of a proper jungle without a beach. That could be cool.
Something I did want to bring up because I completely forgot about this. Yeah, like in Champions vs Contenders 2, they literally found like a bag of beans from like the previous season.
That's hilarious. I know Russell always says that they had like outhouses or something, porta potties on Australian Survivor, but
yeah, but also, like, did you guys see the most recent video that Russell uploaded?
No, I didn't watch it.
So, okay, now bear in mind, I've been having really bad insomnia. I don't know why. I just haven't been able to get to sleep. And I saw a video pop up and Russell was talking about Rob and Parvati. And he's like, all right, I'm going to drop you the hottest Survivor tea. I reckon they had 6 during Heroes versus Villains. And it's like, okay, Russell, like,
sure.
Like, is it the point where it's like, you can talk about old Survivor villains like Johnny Fairplay, for example, but Fairplay is still going on other shows.
He's Russell on. There's this game show in America called The Floor that Rob Lowe hosts, and I actually just enjoy. I just think it's a fun show. So me and my fiance watch it, and we watched this new season, and Johnny Fairplay's on it. And I'm like, what the heck are you doing here?
Earning a bit of money.
I was expecting his like everybody has their own category that like they're supposedly like experts in, and his isn't even about Survivor. I'm like, why wouldn't you do Survivor? You were on Survivor, like, and he has a Survivor podcast too.
Oh
yeah,
crazy.
That's like literally though. It's like with Fairplay, even Richard Hatch has come back to do another show, right? Whereas Russell hasn't.
He was on House of Villains, right?
Yeah, but with Russell, he's obviously such of a nightmare of a player to work with, even for production, that no one wants him. So how do I stay relevant? Well, I'm gonna start making up lies about people. Dude.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Well, speaking of, not really. Subscribe for Cheeky Naughty Times.
Subscribe if you want to hear about the time Rob and Parvati apparently hooked up during Heroes vs. Villains.
Subscribe.
More Survivor tea for you next time.
Subscribe if you want to see how horrific Drew's shoulder looks next week. I mean,
I think it gets better.
Yeah, who knows what it's going to look like? Maybe it'll just be like on the other side or something.
Maybe he won't even have an arm next time.
Maybe not. That's why you got to come back.
Yeah.
You have to come and see what happens to Drew.
Yeah.
Who knows where they'll reattach his arm? Who knows? Follow our Instagram.
Yeah. And by the way, follow our Instagram.
And our Spotify. Oh no, that's that. This. Yeah.
That's Spotify. Yeah.
Spotify.
No, we've got a whole bunch of great, amazing content coming up here on Marco Productions. Obviously, V, you're doing a great job with this Celebrity Amazing Race Australia with Leonie and Michelle. Make sure you check out last week's recap, or I guess this week technically, where I tried to rage bait Michelle, but it completely backfired on me, and I just rage baited myself. And this Sunday as well, Useless as Australian Survivor Facts and I are going to be talking about the new Survivor Revenge and Redemption season. Brand new hosts, brand new production, some returning players from other shows as well. Traders New Zealand even. So make sure you check that out. Here on Marco Productions. That'll be this Sunday.
And just before we go, we've got 2 very important questions from Gabe. Just before we go. Oh, there we go. Who's leaving next week? Who's voted out? I mean.
Oh. I gotta say who's on the cast again. I don't even know.
Well,
Honestly,
look,
Jeremiah.
If we're blue, we're Jeremiah. Which do you think it will be Kelly next week? The blue tribe.
I think they're just. I mean, it comes to a point like Mucky was saying. I mean, they're starving them, and they have no flint. They have no, machete or whatever. So they're already just like way behind everybody else. Like I think Jake said at the tribal council, they are living in the Stone Age while everybody else is in, the 21st century. And I think that just holds them back of like, they're just never able to get a foot up. And I think they're just going to lose again. And I think that Jake is going to be able to keep Alex and Sophie together. And I think they're just going to take out Jeremiah.
So do you think your namesake Jake will be stealing one of Jeremiah's shoes?
I think so. I think Death Incarnate will come for Jeremiah's shoes.
What about you, Mucky? Oh, who gets the Vee's Knees award this episode? Sorry, I did two thoughts at once. I'll just answer this. I think Drew, actually. I'm going to break the fourth wall and say that Drew gets Vee's Knees award this week, because anyone who can take a hit like that and still be alive. And you'll have to ask Drew personally on Instagram if you want to see the video. So everyone,
like a champ.
So make sure you follow the Instagram too.
Yeah. How about you, Mucky? Who do you think's going next week?
I'm saying, I do agree with Jeremiah. As Gabe says, we are going to be getting a bit of a Sage versus Savannah. It seems to be coming up. We obviously know, Savannah and the Riz God are in season 50, so I doubt Savannah's gonna be.
I don't think you want to be taking Sage in that battle.
No. I mean, can you imagine that? I was thinking, how funny would it be if Savannah and Riz God are just pre-merge or something?
They chose them on purpose to just completely have our expectations blown away, for this season, because we're obviously going to assume that they make it super far.
Yeah, exactly.
So it might be a Sage. A Sage if Uli go to
Sage.
Yeah, it might be a Sage.
Yeah. Wait, is Sage the one that had to take a piss when she was super excited?
And she about poop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. I guess you can say that's pretty shit, but yeah.
Just really
all right, guys.
Using the bathroom.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Tune back next week for all the reasons we described, and we'll see you on Sunday for the Bucky's Australian versus the world, not Australia versus Australian Survivor content.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll get it right. I won't screw this up.
Spoilers, V, for what's coming up. Gosh.
I know. Well, that's what you said, wasn't it? I actually wasn't listening. I was thinking about what I was going to do. Anyway, thanks for joining us, everyone. Bye.
Bye.